Hey everyone, welcome to Olibotics, where we turn ideas into automations and simplify the power of AI, workflows, and we use no-code tools. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to turn any n8n workflow into a simple web app. So you or your users can input any data and then get the results, all through clean custom interface. We're going to build a simple recipe maker. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have the webhook node. So what the webhook node does is that you can have a URL. Anytime a form is submitted, the data is submitted to this particular URL, and then this URL would also then send it to the workflow. We're going to use post method, and we can name it to something like recipe maker. And because this is a basic example, so we're not gonna make it more complex, so you can leave the authentication as none. For the respond, workflow is going to receive, it has to send it back, so you can use the node which is going to be respond to webhook. So this webhook would receive the input, and then the last node, which is going to be respond to webhook, is going to send the data back to the front end that we're going to build. Okay, simple as that. Now we can use LLM chain, and in this particular node you can see right here, get the data. You see there's a problem, we did not define a mock data. So what we're going to do is we're going to go back here, we have to set up a mock data so we can at least test the workflow. We have to create an object within the body tag. The object is going to be prompt. We can use a prompt. We can, yeah, and then we can say cheese pasta. Okay, and now when we come back here, you can see it has a mock data, because we need a variable as we are building this for users who are into no code. It's easier for them to understand how it works by dragging and dropping without coding anything. Right there. So you see, when we drag and drop, it has the value cheese pasta, which is a mock data that we defined. For the model, we can use OpenAI. OpenAI Mini usually works fine, but now the thing is, it's not gonna be a recipe maker, as we said, unless we define a role. And the system is, you can have multiple different styles. You can have AI, system, user. So this is going to be a user input, which is the cheese pasta, and system input. We can define a role here. We could say you are a recipe maker. Okay, that's simple as that. Anytime information is sent, it would act as a recipe maker and then send us the instructions like what we need. For example, here is a simple and delicious cheese pasta recipe for you, and then it gives us all the information that we need. But there's a problem here, because it's having all these hashtags, all that. We can say the output should be numbered and in bullet points. So in this way, the output is going to be numbered and in bullet points. So not going to have any markdown data. So now this is done. Remember, we mentioned that we're going to have a respond to webhook node. What we're going to do is we're going to attach the respond to webhook node here. and you can respond with, you can choose any of these things. I personally like text, and then I can just drag and drop here, right here, and that's it. There we go. So that's how it works. Now what we're gonna do is, this part is done. Now our job is to go back to any vibe coding software where we can insert a prompt and it would code the interface for us. We're not going to code anything, the system is going to code for us. So here we go. So in this example, we're going to now move to Lovable, which is a tool that now is very famous and everybody's using it. You can just insert a prompt, which I have written right here, is that let's build AI recipe generator. The interface should be modern, sleek. The user should be able to input name of the dish, as we are making a recipe maker, so they can insert any name of the dish. And then we can also add some context to it, like what is that, mentioning the name of the dish they like to make, and click the button to submit the form. That's more like a context. Now we're going to give instructions, like in order to generate the recipe, the user use the following endpoints, which is going to be, look, the endpoint is going to be the production URL, which is right here. And we can come back here and we can say, hey, right here, and then we can mention it, like we can say, hey, the way it is working is it is working as user is going to put prompt, 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 and they are putting the name of the dish, like cheese pasta. You can put anything like that. This is more like a you know, kind of giving context to this vibe coding app, that how it is working, so it doesn't make any mistake. You can always edit it, by the way, it's no big deal. And also remember how it is sending it back. It's sending as a text, so we can say, hey, the end point will return the value as text, the generated recipe. Simple as that. What we're telling the in a prompt is that this is what we want, an interface, and these are the instructions, that what we are, you know, what is the function of that interface, and also how it is receiving the, you know, the output that is being generated by the backend, which is the n8n. So we can click here and it would kind of start coding it. And there's going to be a preview here. We can also publish that, so you can give the URL to anybody. There's going to be an active app that you can interact with whenever you want, rather than you vibe coding it locally on your computer. Lovable is actually much more functional than any other vibe coding software. All right, here we go. There's this beautiful interface. Let's see. Okay, remember another thing I want to mention. You have to go back and make sure the workflow is active. It's not. If it is not active, it's not going to communicate with this. We can say, hey, Pakistani chai. You know. Well, let's see what it's going to do. You see, and you can adjust the output, like, hey, I don't want any hashtags, I don't want like stars, you know, as in the instructions. You can, you know, say whatever you want, because I kept the example very basic, so you know, I don't want to kind of make it more complicated. So look what we asked, Pakistani chai, that was the input, this part was the input, every time the form is generated, like every time the form is submitted, like pressing this, the whole input from here goes back to NA10. As you can see, the way we defined it, it goes within that. And this is a mock data, that's why it's purple, but actually the real input goes here, and real input goes here to the LLM, and then the value is processed by OpenAI, and then it is sent back to the lovable app that we just built, and that's what we are dealing with right now. Amazing. We can test another thing. We can say, hey, make yeah, so pizza. Let's see. Hey, look at that. Ingredients, prepare the dough, make the sauce. All that is here. Bake, serve. And what you can also do is you can also give it a command. Hey, when it comes to a generated recipe, make it printable or shareable. So anybody who is actually generating a recipe, it could be shared with somebody else. It could be printed, so a user can when the user is making a recipe in person, practically they could use a printout. And you could mention so many things like the layout, when the output should be in different columns, colors, all that. But this is a very basic example that you can see where we're able to do that. We were able to build this amazing app. What I'm going to do, I'm going to publish that, by the way, so you guys in the comment section can enjoy this, right? And I'm going to share both of the files, so everybody can enjoy that. Well, this was the tutorial, this was the example. So it's going to be a fun journey. This is my first video. We're going to have so much fun.